A bobcat was seconds away from falling into a canyon. His back paws scraped desperately against the cliff. Below him, only emptiness. And the one fighting to save him wasn't a ranger or a climber. It was a Labrador retriever, rope clenched tight in his jaws. One slip, and both would be lost. Stay until the end, because what happened next wasn't just a rescue. It was proof that friendship can survive even the wildest instincts. The story begins in a quiet mountain town in Colorado. Cooper was a yellow Labrador, 6 years old. His coat glowed in the sun, his eyes calm and steady. He lived with Walter, a retired wildlife veterinarian. They shared a small cabin near the edge of a vast reserve. Cooper wasn't loud or playful, but everyone in town knew his secret past. Years ago, he had raised a fragile bobcat kitten, abandoned when its mother was killed. That kitten's name was Ember. When the reserve expanded, Ember was released into the wilderness, strong and free. Everyone believed he would adapt. But only 2 days later, rangers got a call. A bobcat had been spotted trapped between cliffs, chased by a mountain cougar. He was dangling by his hind legs, seconds from falling. The rescue team rushed in, but the terrain was brutal. The wind howled. Pebbles rattled down the canyon. No one dared move closer. "He won't let anyone near," a ranger whispered. "He's wild now. He doesn't remember anyone." Then they saw Cooper standing at the tree line. As Ember heard the soft sound of paws on dirt, he didn't growl. He didn't panic. His eyes fixed on Cooper, steady, unafraid. Recognition flickered. Cooper walked to the edge, tail low, silent. Ember's gaze locked on him as if nothing else existed. Without a word, Cooper turned, grabbed a climbing rope, and dragged it to the ledge. One end was already anchored. Rangers tied the other around Ember. The world seemed to hold its breath. The rope groaned. Dirt slid under Cooper's paws. His jaws locked tighter. Inch by inch, Ember rose from the cliff. Silence pressed down like stone, and then Ember was safe. No one expected what followed. Ember pressed his head firmly against Cooper's chest. Not a wild gesture, not instinct. It was memory. The memory of nights spent beside a fire, bowls of milk shared, and a bond that had never broken. A young ranger cried softly. She had seen rescues before, but never love like this. Then Ember froze. From the shadows, the cougar had returned. It crouched low, eyes fixed on Cooper. The dog didn't see it, but Ember did. He stepped forward, muscles tense, shielding the Labrador with his body. He didn't hiss. He didn't strike. He just stood firm. The cougar stared, then slowly backed away into the trees. Quiet. Absolute. After that day, Cooper returned to Walter's cabin. Ember stayed near the cliffs under ranger watch. But every sunrise, Ember climbed the ridge above the cabin. He never approached, never called out. He only stood, watching the porch where Cooper lay in the morning sun. They say dogs remember their owners, but sometimes they remember even more. They say dogs remember their owners, but sometimes they remember even more. They remember the friend who never left their side when the world said they shouldn't care. This wasn't just a rescue. It was a reunion. A reminder that family isn't always the one you're born into. Sometimes it's the one that never lets go. And every sunrise, as Ember stood silently on the ridge, watching the cabin below, the world seemed to whisper the same truth, that bonds built in trust and loyalty can outlast even the wildest instincts. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe. There are more true stories of loyalty and love between animals waiting for you here.